Yo, what's up guys, Gabi here again. We're back with another video, and I saw that you guys really liked our last video where I talked about making an R&B guitar sample from scratch if you don't know how to play guitar. And I thought I would do another one of those because recently I've been high into doing guitar stuff. I actually just got a new acoustic guitar like last week. I'm gonna put it up on the screen right now, and this is actually the first idea that I recorded on that new guitar, and I really liked it. I posted on my stories and my reels and people liked it, so I thought I'm coming here and break this down for you guys. It's almost the same principles that I used on our last video for the electric guitar one. Basically taking advantage of the fact that you're working on a computer, you can do multiple takes, you can stitch together different takes to create something, you know, that I wouldn't be able to play just by myself. So let's get right into this one and see how I made this. The first thing that we did here is the chords, and this is how the guitar chords sound. I don't know if you guys caught that, but let's look a little bit closer into this. This is the guitar chop. So I recorded this on my iPhone. I'm gonna grab the screen recording of the voice memo and play it for you guys right now. So this is basically how I recorded the guitar chords, and then I brought them into FL and started to chop them up. I couldn't play this full progression in just one take, so I put them in here, I chopped it up, and I did some tomfoolery that I'm gonna show you guys. So we have the first chord right here. Then we chop it up, go to the second chord. Play this like one chord at a time. As y'all can see, I cut out this little fret noise here and just laid on top of the chords because I wanted to give this idea that I was playing the full progression in one take, but I'm not. When I am doing that on the guitar, I have those fret noises when I'm going from one chord to another. I didn't have this here because I was playing one chord at a time. So I just recorded one of these fret noises and put it on top of it, so it creates this illusion that I'm playing everything in one take, even though I'm not. So it sounds like this. And this is like the craziest part because this is a 4-chord progression, and I did not know how to play this last one. I tried like a bunch of times to try to get a good take of this last chord here, and I just couldn't do it. So I grabbed these chord here, and then I recorded this. I resampled it. You can just come in here into the master and go Option R, and then just resample it. And then I grabbed this resample part and brought it down 5 semitones. So this is how it originally sounds, which is just that same chord. I just brought it down 5 semitones. And you get all these like artifacts because I think my AC was on, so you have like this noise in the background. You can hear the noise pitching down. It doesn't sound natural at all. I don't know if I was gonna, keep it, but at the end of the day, bro, no one cares. Like when you have the guitar chords and then the top line on top and then the vocals on top, and this is just the melody, and there's gonna be drums, and then like an artist gonna record on top of it. It's just going to be like so buried into the song that it just doesn't matter, The theme that I have with these videos is trying to like do the most that you can with what you have, right? So if you can only play 3 chords, and have this 4th chord, you can just resample it and pitch it down or up, so you have that chord, for it to make the song, for it to achieve the song. And it kind of actually gives this like different tone to it, like this different texture to it. And then I just ended up resample everything, like this whole thing here, because I didn't want to have this chopped up part, through the whole sample. And then I landed into this last loop, which is everything chopped up with the fret noises chopped up to create this illusion that I am going from one chord to another, and this is how it sounds. let's quickly look at the mixing for this one. I have a parametric EQ2 cutting a little bit of the lows and then a little bit of the mids and then a little bit of the highs, just to try and remove a little bit of that noise. Edison has this really cool feature, this denoise cleanup feature. I tried it on this one. It just didn't sound good, you know. It removed a ton of the sounds on top of the noise, so I decided to just keep it and lower it on the actual EQ. And again, it kind of gives this like amateur, recorded on an iPhone, like lo-fi, intimate, like personal kind of vibe to the melody. So I actually kind of liked it on that sense. I use Fruity Compressor here and Wolf Compressor. These compressors are pretty different and I'm using both of them on my chain. I use Fruity Compressor when I want a more clean compression and a more specific compression, because Wolf Compressor, it only gives you this compress knob here. You don't have a lot of control in the actual compression. Fruity Compressor, you do have more control, but Wolf Compressor, the reason why I use it is because it sounds good. It has like this tone to it. The wow and the lo-fi sounds good, so I use Wolf Compressor too on this guitar chords here, again to go more into that lo-fi, personal, intimate aesthetic, you know, vibe that we were going for. After I had the chords done, I played these two top lines here that in my opinion they sound really good, and it's basically that same idea from the last video. If you haven't watched the last video, you can click right here. I'm gonna put a card for you to go and watch that video, but it's basically just let it play a bunch of stuff on top, try to find some melodies that you're able to actually play, record them, and then you guys can see there's a ton of chops in here. I move stuff around a lot. There's some fades. It's a little bit of a arduous process. This sample is pretty simple. It's just the guitar and some vocals, and let me see how much time I spent on it. I spent more than an hour on it, so it's like it's an arduous process, but it's a fun process too, and I like the way that these two top lines, they interact with each other. So enough talking, let's see how it sounds. It sounds so nice in my opinion. There's a lot of cuts, and again, I'm really going into that lo-fi aesthetic. For me to achieve it, you guys can hear there's a lot of dynamics. This is something that you don't see a ton in like pop music, and pop in a broader sense, you know, as opposed to like film scoring when you have like a ton of dynamics. Sometimes the volume is really low, sometimes it's really high. When you're dealing with like pop music, hip hop, you know, reggaeton, all of these stuff is pretty compressed. Everything's almost on the same level, and I'm going in the opposite direction with this one. Some notes you can barely hear them, some notes are really loud. Obviously I don't want to have that dynamic, you know, in a way that it starts to bother the listener. So in some clips I'm bringing the volume up, some clips I'm bringing it down significantly, almost 6 dB, and I think I landed on a cool vibe here, you know. You shouldn't overthink stuff a ton. I recently launched a Discord server for the channel, so a ton of people are joining. A ton of people who are just starting out. The link is going to be in the description of this video. One thing that I've been seeing a ton with the people who are just starting and looking for tips and feedback is that they overthink stuff so much, and I can relate to that a lot. I've done it a lot. It's a process, you know, for you to actively fight against this overthinking like mindset. If it sounds good to me, it just sounds good to me, you know. There's no rules. I just keep it the way that I like. And I recorded some vocals on these ones. I'm not really good at it, you know. I try it sometimes. I was feeling like recording vocals, so I did. One thing I'll say is, again, don't overthink it. When I listen to these vocals, I can only hear myself, you know. I don't hear like this cool like tone, whatever. I just hear myself. But when I posted this on my Instagram, a lot of people liked it and like replied, and people were asking, yo, is this you on the vocals? And like, to me, it's so obvious that it's me. Like, it's the same vocals and I can only hear myself on these, but some other people, you know, didn't. That's what's cool about music, you know. Like, taste is so subjective. So I'll say experiment with it, you know, take your time. There's plenty of takes on these ones. There's there's a ton of cuts on these ones too. And let's see how these sounds. Just as a disclaimer, when I finished this sample, I exported everything and then I pitched it up too, so it was like a little bit higher in pitch and it doesn't sound like my low vocal tone. So I'm going to put pitch wheel on the master just so we can emulate that. Let's see how the vocal sounds. But before going to that, I need to talk to you guys about Autodigest.co, my sample library, my music library. This is where you're going to find all of my sounds, all of my packs that I released through the years, and my newest release, Extinction Level Event. It's a sample pack with 10 compositions in the style of hip hop and trap, like some Don Toliver, Travis type of stuff. And with this pack, it features an in-depth 30-minute exclusive breakdown video. On the zip file, when you get it, you're going to see the video inside of the zip file. It's a 30-minute breakdown of the sample Selena. This is not going to be uploaded publicly here on YouTube. You can only find it here on Extinction Level Event, or if you become a member here on YouTube. The pack is on sale for the next month. It's only 14 bucks and you get a 30-minute breakdown with it. Yeah, I would highly recommend grabbing that or checking out Autodigest.co, where you can find all of my sounds and all of my packs. And now let's get back to the video. Let me remove the pitch wheel and then we're gonna hear it on the actual original pitch. Pretty simple. It's just some oohs and some ahs. I rarely record vocals and I never record or I never write lyrics. I think only one time I sang lyrics that I came up with on a sample, and that sample actually placed and became a song in Germany. But this is something that I rarely do. I'm just doing oohs and ahs just to create a little vibe, this lo-fi, you know, almost like acoustic vibe we're going for. The vocals, I recorded multiple takes with Auto-Tune Pro 11. I'm pretty sure this is the latest version. And the most that I'm doing here is just spanning. You guys can see everything just spans. The only thing that's right down the middle is the guitar chords. The top lines are panned to the left and to the right. The vocals are panned to the left and to the right. Again, there's going to be drums on top of this. A sample is half a beat is half a song. There's going to be drums on top of these. There's going to be actual lyrics and vocals on top of this. So you don't want to take a lot of that high end and especially that mid section of your audio with stuff that's just going to be, you know, on top of the actual recording artist. And this is basically the whole sample. I just repeat this over and over. The chorus repeat over and over. The top line repeats over and over. I just have the vocals here in the first section and then I repeat everything. I loop everything and just keep the guitars. Super simple melody. This is one of my favorite samples that I made recently in the last couple of months. This is something that I talk about in a lot of videos, creating song ideas. And this is what I'm trying to accomplish with this one. It's super simple, but I really like the tone and I hope you guys like this video. Hope you guys took some from this, learned some from this, or at least I could inspire you. I don't know how to play guitar. I just look up on like YouTube R&B, neo soul guitar chord progressions, and then I just try to replicate them in the best way that I can. I edit them, cut them, you know, compress, add effects, and they sound cool, you know, and they become songs and everything. And it's just such a magical process. I really like making this and making music. So yeah, I see you guys on the next one. Peace.